Not sure why we went to Rams fans, and of course, it is DEFCON 2. Which, remember, it's not the higher number, it's the lower number. DEFCON 1, the world ends. Okay, so here we go. All right, here we go, guys. What's on your minds? TJ, you're up.
Yeah, look, if anything was a perfect example of how inadequate the U.S. men's national team is, it was Copa America. Just terrible, terrible performances from the U.S. men's national team. And look, I know they finished fourth in all of this, but the fact that Jurgen Klinsmann was saying that that was great, that there was progress in all of that, I think is kind of pathetic in and of itself. I would also say this, people who are surprised that the United States has not made more progress need to remember that other countries have been playing soccer since the 1800s, and our domestic league is barely old enough to buy porn and cigarettes. So I think it's pretty clear our culture and skill level need to get significantly better before we expect to be competitive in soccer.
I know. Now you have to be 21 to do all that, right, TJ? You finally graduated. Blair, oh gosh, please help us now.
Listen, when we think of, you pick a sport and you think of the iconic coaches in those sports. You think of Vince Lombardi in football and John Wooden in men's basketball. And today, and especially today, we were thinking about women's basketball and Pat Summitt, because the news came through from Knoxville, Tennessee, that her health has taken a turn for the worse. We don't know how much longer Pat Summitt has to live. She is absolutely the queen of college basketball. She's been winning championships ever since college basketball was organized by the AIAW before it became an NCAA sport. She won 8 NCAA titles, including one at Kemper Arena in 1998, the third of 3 in a row. She's had great players. The players have all come and visited her. Family has come and visited her. It appears it's not going to be long, with us much longer. She should be appreciated as one of the great coaches in all of sports, Pat Summitt of Tennessee.
Yeah, she could have coached a men's team with that. Absolutely no problem at all. Soren?
Yeah, and I agree. As a great coach, I'll talk about a couple of other great coaches in college basketball. John Calipari and Tom Izzo not being very great. We talked about the NBA draft. Here were both these coaches that are icons for the game, shilling for their players who really shouldn't have left. Skal Labissiere and Davis from Michigan State, Kentucky and Michigan State, respectively. They weren't going to get drafted. Labissiere snuck into the bottom of the first round, and we get this report. They're both furiously working the phones to try to get him drafted. And then afterwards, Tom Izzo saying the system needs to change. Why? Because they didn't draft your player? Give the guy good advice. If he goes out, the world will move on without a kid from Michigan State getting drafted in the first round. And seeing these guys out there shilling is just ridiculous. If I were a Kansas fan, I'd be very proud that Bill Self wasn't out there trying to schmooze some coach or kiss up to some coach in the NBA to try to get one of his guys tucked into the bottom of the first round.
It's a good point. I'd also like to add one thing tonight. I'd like to congratulate all the local swimmers and that were up in Omaha this weekend that competed. They didn't make the Olympics this time around, but we're going to see them all in Tokyo in 2020. That's it. Don't forget, Graham Benziger is next.